the racist issue in football, which has now become something to talk about, and we're looking forward to a way to curb it. We have Ojora Babatunde joins us live all the way from Paris in France. Ojora Babatunde, good morning. Welcome to In the Game. Good to have you.
And thank you for having me on the show this morning.
All right. I wanted to say bonjour, but of course, I said good morning. Okay, let's go straight to business. I mean, we've seen lots of things that has happened in the last few hours after Vinícius Júnior, was, abused racially, in Spain. And so far, so good. We've had lots of comments from FIFA, from UEFA, from, bodies, including the statue in Brazil being turned off. And now racism has now become a trend in European football, right about now. Most of times, we know how it has been in England, in France, in Italy, but now it's dominant in Egypt. I'd like to ask you, I mean, it seems we've been condemning, but it doesn't seem to work out with all the things that's happened, from the actions being used to curb this particular one. What do you think will be the lasting solution to the issues of racism in the world football?
Thank you again for having me, Favour, and your co-host. I saw the tweet from the FIFA president, and also, like you already mentioned, top officials and people have contributed or lent their voice in stopping racism. But I think it's just all about words for them. Because when you look at what and how this racism, racial slur have been directed to, ways that you think the likes of FIFA, UEFA, they can do to stop things that I think they can do to stop racism, and they are not doing it. For example, before coming to the Vinícius case, let's go to the Inter Milan Juventus game in the Coppa Italia semi-final thereabout. Inter Milan against Juventus. The young man Lukaku scored a goal, and he was, during the game, people were, calling him names, using racial slur on him, and the guy scored. And he went to the fans and did something like this. And the referee deemed fit that this man should be given a red card. Okay. Someone that was being identified by his color, the color of his skin. So that now begs you to ask yourself that, are these people really taking this seriously? In the Premier League at some point, you saw them taking a knee. And before Zaha said, I'm not going to take a knee because I think these are just words without any action. If these guys want to stop racism, I think they know what to do. Back to the Juventus-Italian game. Not only was Lukaku red carded, he was also fined. And then the Italian FA or thereabout said, okay, it's a fraction of Juventus stadium will be banned for like 2 or 3 games. 2 days later, they overturned it, saying Juventus won the appeal.
Okay, Babatunde, let me butt in here. I'm sorry. Let me butt in here. I quite understand the illustration and what you're trying to make of it, that it's been handled with leniency. In recent times, ever since the Vinícius Júnior incident, we've seen various solidarity messages from FIFA down to, the Spanish FA. You can name names. Even the Brazilian president as well sent a message. But the question is, are these enough? And if not, what measures do you expect to be taken to curb racism to its purest minimum in football?
All right, thank you. They are not enough, in my opinion, because when you see people defining you by the color of your skin, and not only are they fined by, maybe some few thousands, they are also allowed back into the stadium. That's to say, okay, I can get away with this. Why not say you will be getting a life ban or a sentence, 6-month sentence jail if you define someone by the color of their skin? Let's start from that. Because I don't think taking a knee or just going and say, okay, we kick against racism, I don't think that's enough. The moment you start putting, a fine on it of thousands and thousands of euros and say, okay, there's going to be 6 months minimum of sentence, you going to the jail, I think people will start taking racism serious and not want to go into defining people by the color of their skin.
All right, Babatunde, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Interestingly, you've talked about measures that should be put in place to curb racism. We hope you have more time in the nearest days to talk more about this particular one. We really want to thank you, Ojora Babatunde, for your time all the way from Paris. Merci beaucoup. Gracias, also from Spain.
Merci beaucoup. Merci. Thank you for having me, guys.